Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing the Eagles and how they will be opening the 2024 regular season in Brazil. And now we're going to be talking about the Spurs and how they held a practice at a Miami Beach school. I would just like to state that Tate sent a message to me seconds ago saying that he's hungry now because he's been talking about Pop-Tarts.
Oh, you don't understand. You have a certain appreciation for
Mm-hmm.
American food. The food here is awesome. I love the food here.
Mm-hmm.
But that bad American food. I
Yeah.
don't want to go to America. I don't need a steak.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want fish in America. I want the bad stuff. I want bacon. I want Pop-Tarts.
Uh-huh.
I want, all the stuff that I want the double with cheese. I want all the bad stuff. The last when I went home, it was kind of how like you remember the Grinch's heart grew 2 sizes bigger and all that
Yeah.
stuff. My
Mm-hmm.
butt grew 2 sizes bigger. My butt, it was all butt and gut when I got home.
Oh gosh. Alrighty.
The things you don't need to know about.
Okay. So, the Spurs held a practice at a Miami Beach school, and the kids there got a huge surprise. Starting off, Jacob Asaroff lost a bet, so he had to go through classes at Hebrew Academy on Wednesday wearing a suit instead of more casual wear. Turns out that wasn't the most unusual part of his day. Members of the boys and girls basketball team at the small private school got quite a surprise. They got to be in the gym to watch number 1 draft pick Victor
Wembanyama
Wembanyama, Coach Greg
from
Popovich,
France.
Coach Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs having a game day shoot-around session on their court. Popovich even posed for pictures with the group and engaged the players in a question and answer session. The encounter started taking shape a few weeks ago when someone from the Spurs called the school and asked if its facilities would be available for practice. The Spurs in Miami to play the Heat on Wednesday night were staying nearby, and teams often have a morning on-court workout before a game in the evening. The Hebrew Academy didn't hesitate before saying yes. Having school's basketball players in the gym was not a part of the plan, that is, until Wednesday morning. Shoot-arounds, like most NBA practices, are typically closed to outsiders. Word got out fast. Some students climbed on gates outside the gym to peer through the windows just for a look at Wembanyama.
Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
I'm there for you.
Inside the gym, the Spurs heard the commotion. Wembanyama acknowledged the kids more than once, and a few more were waiting for him as he left the gym for the short walk back to the Spurs team buses. What are they doing?
I love this.
Practicing.
This is awesome.
No, it's definitely awesome, and I'm sure those kids were super ecstatic that an NBA basketball team was practicing in their school gym. But they couldn't, there's not a nicer place for an NBA team to practice before a game. They've got to go
What
to
was the city? What was the city they were in? Do you know?
Miami Beach.
Okay. I'm sure there was probably someplace else,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe it's kind of a situation where maybe they were on a road trip, maybe they weren't planning on having a practice,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe someone got injured and they need to bring in another player. They need to work some things out.
Mm-hmm.
And so they decided last second to get in a workout.
Mm-hmm.
Or Popovich maybe felt like the team needed a workout.
Mm-hmm.
So they started calling around trying to find like, hey, we don't want our guys having to travel really far. So what's close by around the hotel? Maybe this is the closest arena, closest gym.
Mm-hmm.
Gyms are pretty standard when it comes to basketball courts.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's the reason behind it. what I'm looking at this and saying, I love this.
Mm-hmm.
I think the NBA and Adam Silver should take this and say it should be a situation where, like, I would love to see this during the off season, during the kind of like preseason, or when they're practicing and getting ready for the season,
Mm-hmm.
that all the teams, let's say all the teams in the area, they have a practice game, a meet and greet and a practice at all the different high school arenas in their area. So if you're a Cleveland Cavalier, I grew up in the Cleveland, Ohio area. So they go to, let's say Canton, they go to Cleveland, Youngstown, some of the high schools in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in Atlanta, some of those high schools around there. So that the kids they'll get a practice in, but then afterwards they get to meet their favorite player on a more even playing field so
Mm-hmm.
that they get to meet them. LeBron James is in my school and I got to shake LeBron's hand. I got to watch him practice in my arena. You know, they could do that and just go around to all the different high schools. And I think a lot could be done with this.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I think it is like such a cool thing. And when you're talking about professional sports, there's such a huge distance. Like there's this gate, this where the fan never can really interact with the players. Well, this would be a great opportunity to have it so that these high school kids get to see their favorite player practice. You're not charging anything. And afterwards, the players meet and greet. You get to sign an autograph, sign my math book or this
Mm-hmm.
and that, and you get a chance to sit down with the players. The NBA should, I think, kind of embrace this. I think it'd be a really cool thing. It's not like an NFL team where it's a small city.
Mm-hmm.
During preseason and training camp, there's hundreds of people that's involved. You can't really move that, but you can take 20 to 30 people and go around to the different high schools. And I think it would be really cool. I'm thinking about this. I suspect, I don't have any information, that it was Popovich decided, hey, either we need to work out, we got another player coming in because someone's injured. We're bringing up a D League player or someone, G League two, work in, and we need to work some sets so they understand what's going on, or something that we need to work out before the game, something that he saw. But I'm assuming they needed like a little hour or so kind of practice beforehand. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my thing. But I absolutely love it. And Popovich, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. It really, honestly, is a cute, cute thing that they did that, and then they um met all the students that were really excited to meet them and everything. I
Oh.
remember one time, and when I was in school, the Harlem Globetrotters came to my school and
Mhm.
did a game or whatever at my school, and that was really cool. And I got to meet some of the Harlem Globetrotters at the time.
And you see how cool you thought that was?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I can't even name a Harlem Globetrotter anymore. But if I had a
I can't
chance,
either.
Victor Wembanyama, the number one pick in the draft, international superstar.
Hmm.
I get to see him practice. I get to meet him. I get to Hall of Fame coach Greg Popovich,
Hmm.
looking at all those players, or LeBron James comes to my high school,
Hmm.
or Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving,
Hmm.
or Kevin Durant, and all, you know what I mean. If you're remembering the Harlem Globetrotters and you think that's amazing,
Hmm.
imagine your local team comes to your high school.
Yeah.
You're in Georgia, so Trey Young and those guys come to your high school
Hmm.
practice. You get to watch them practice, and then afterwards you get to meet them and
Hmm.
and everything. I think that would be cool.
I think
So,
also, if the basketball teams from that school got to like talk to them and like maybe practice with them a little bit and get some pointers from them, I think that would be really cool as well.
and that's why I said you may can't do something like that during the season,
Yeah.
but during training camp and during, as they're getting ready for the season, I think it'd be kind of cool to just go on a tour. Like I would make it so it's like the local team.
Mhm.
So if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder, you're visiting all the schools around your around Oklahoma City. If you're the Atlanta
Mhm.
Hawks, you're visiting all the schools around Atlanta, having a day at the different schools.
Mhm.
In a month or so, you could knock out 20, 30 schools and
Mhm.
think about those kids will remember that forever.
Yeah.
That you instantly kids that maybe you weren't a basketball fan, but if the Atlanta Hawks came to your school, practiced at your school, came over and said hello to Faith and sat down, gave
Mhm.
an autograph and everything else, maybe you're an Atlanta Hawks fan now.
If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think my high school has actually gone to the Atlanta Hawks um, court stadium. I don't
But I
and
mean,
has
arena. Hmm.
arena and has played a game there before. I think that's actually happened.
And that could be very possible. But
Mhm.
see, there's still a big difference. Even if you took your whole school and said, "Hey, we're going to take everyone to Atlanta Hawks game," is
Mhm.
not the same as Atlanta Hawks coming to your high
Right.
school,
Yeah.
practicing at your high school, and
Mhm.
then meeting the players. That's a
Yeah.
whole different level. That's what different than what the story is. The story is that
Mhm.
Popovich and the Spurs needed an arena,
Mhm.
needed a gym to practice at, and they went there, and the kids had a chance to see Wembanyama, and
Yeah.
they're all excited about that. Is kind of, but I think they should go. The NBA could go a step further.
Mhm.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool too. I mean, yeah, you'll remember that for the rest of your life, honestly.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
got to meet Wimbenyana. How crazy is that?
And listen, he's a rookie. This guy has the potential
Mhm.
to be skill set. If he stays healthy, he has at minimum he's Hall of Fame talent.
Mhm.
He has the skill. He's at that age and he has the skill set to his ceiling. Now, I got to make sure I'm not predicting this, but his ceiling is he has the ceiling to be the greatest player to ever play the game. That's
Mhm.
his peak. If he falls anywhere between Hall of Famer and the greatest player to ever play the game, that's all within his grasp as long as
Mhm.
he stays healthy. So I
Well,
think that's amazing.
yeah. And maybe, NBA, anybody who's listening, you should do it. We think it's a great idea.
I think so.
Tour your state.
And you
Um,
can you could do that with the WNBA. I
mhm.
definitely think the WNBA should do it because with the WNBA, there are so many there's these great teams and these unreal, unbelievable players, but they don't have the following. They need to be
Mhm.
building for the future, getting young boys and young girls involved in the game. And maybe by having practices at the different high schools, maybe you start to get to know some of the WNBA players. Maybe it become you can start getting some of these fans to start coming to the games because the WNBA does not have the television audience, nor do they have the in-person, you know, viewership to support the league.
Mhm.
Start building for the future. Go to some
Yeah.
of these high school arenas, and I think it's a great thing.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be diving into our oddities of the day.
All right.